I used to say good morning, but I'm going to say good day, and welcome to the Monday morning sidewalk. My name is Shannon, and this is the Texas Flycaster YouTube channel. We are here because you are here. Thanks for tuning in. Back to work here at Fish Camp North, and I need to let you know I'm still shipping my original products with free shipping. That's mostly in appreciation of all the December orders for fly mats. It went really well in December. You know my fly mats. I also sell Kydex holsters for pliers and fly rod sleeves. Those are my original products. And I wanted to show you guys a bit of gratitude by shipping for free through January. To those who may have missed out during the holiday madness, I know I missed out. I've got gift cards all over the place that I've got to go. They're burning a hole in my pocket. I'm also able to get you free shipping on the fabulous one-piece Sawgrass fly rods for a limited time, so contact me directly about that offer. Yes, you heard me correctly. You're going to save $100 on shipping. A Sawgrass one-piece fly rod, which is a spectacular rod. Let's look at the tides this week. Here, the tidal snapshot. And if you're actually watching like a zombie, the podcast, because there's not much on there, there's a snapshot of the tides this week. And I based this snapshot in Rockport. And after today, some good swings in tides will be present, with the incoming during the day getting more pronounced as the week goes on, although not terribly extreme, more pronounced. But, the big but, it is also contrasting with the moon phase, which I believe has a lot to do with feeding cycles on the coast and in saltwater. The moon is waxing to a full moon with the full wolf moon on the 14th, 1 week from today. So that is kind of an opposites attract kind of thing. I think, the nighttime is going to be the right time, actually, with the tide swings going out through the night, actually. We had a major cold front came through North Texas Sunday, January 5th. Temperatures this morning are in the teens here at Fish Camp North, and that wind was ferocious on the 5th, which was yesterday. But it was followed really quickly by Bluebird skies, and that means that you guys on the Texas Gulf Coast are looking for some prime conditions this week after the front comes through. You're going to get blown around, guys. If you're not already getting blown around today, Monday, you're going to get blown around. But after that, smooth sailing, I think, for a few days. There's nothing much to note in freshwater except the cold is my trigger to start thinking about going to Daingerfield Lake. That is a place where I target chain pickerel. You'll see some videos from past years of me going after chain pickerel. Strange fish, stinky fish. Man, those fish stink. But I'm about ready. I've gotten that stink out of my nose, and it's been a couple of years, I think. So I'm going to go back. Be sure, though, if you want to see a very informative video on chain pickerel Daingerfield, you go through the library and find that. Just do a search and you'll find it. The other place it really clicks on now with declining weather, the worse the weather gets, the better the fly fishing gets in North Texas, for North Texans, not in North Texas, and South Central Oklahoma, is the Blue River Bite. For those rainbow trout that are stocked there, it's been a weird year to start because of Oklahoma's changes and things, the way they do things. Fly fishers are not immune to a dislike of change, and there's a lot of guys complaining about the cost of a license for Oklahoma, which is, wow, it's like $85 online now. That's pretty expensive. It's so expensive, you better use it. Moving on to the actual podcast, the Monday morning sidewalk. It might not be Monday mornings anymore because I discovered very few people are listening to this podcast on their way to work. Imagine that. I think it dovetails with the discovery that a lot of you don't even go to work. Yeah, I know. I think they call it retirement. But I'm still researching that demographic to find out what retirement is. I think it means more listeners are fly fishing than commuting, which is great, isn't it? I mean, just think about that. It's just awesome. You deserve it, guys. You guys that are retired, I love you, and I appreciate you tuning in. I think I found what it is the older fly fishers are looking for, and it happens to be what I am looking for as well. And that is a mindful approach to fly fishing longer. I call it the Wholistic Fly Fisher, and I introduced that on the Texas Flycaster YouTube channel last week. Makes me really nervous to put a bend in this road of fly fishing, but there it is for you guys to look at, consume, and this is going to be all. If it goes the way I think it will, it'll be the rest of my life that I will be talking about the Holistic Fly Fisher and how you achieve a more holistic approach to fly fishing in your own body, and then realizing the holistic nature of fly fishing as a sport itself. That's really something to dissect, and it is going to take a lot of time. So check that video out, if you will, about the Holistic Fly Fisher. And I also have a short that I put out over the weekend. It's kind of medically informational. It's called SAD Fly Fishers. And SAD is seasonally affected disorder, and it sometimes happens to me when the sun goes away for extended periods. In other words, you're affected by the weather. Your mental outlook is affected by the weather. And I found that over the years of living in North Texas, it's a lot different from when I grew up in South Texas, where the sun is almost always out. It doesn't matter if it's cold. It's never cold down there. Up here, it gets cold. You have to stay inside, and it gets overcast and snowy, like supposedly later this week. One solution I found, I'm full of solutions, is those yellow tinted safety glasses like the ones you get at Home Depot. They're cheap and they make a gloomy day sunny again. They are also great on the water for raising the light level and eye protection in low light situations. I use them for driving too in the rain. It just brightens everything up and increases the contrast levels, the brightness levels, so that I can see down the road better. It's a pretty effective way for me of dealing with this sad seasonally affected disorder. Speaking of stories, here's a story for you. I woke up the other morning right around Christmas or just before and had an eye that was so red as in a burst blood vessel. You get a burst blood vessel in your eye, but this one was really deep red and spreading around the color of my eye, so that all the white of my eye was red. And it was somewhat alarming, but it didn't hurt. The family kind of was like, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just woke up this way." But I could see all right, and it didn't hurt, so onward with the holidays I went. In the story around that time, I wrote, quote, "It looked like I'd been thumbed in the eye by Mike Tyson." And I didn't have any idea how that eye got that way, but there it was for days on end, staring back at me. It was frighteningly bad at one point, making me look like an evil grandpa around the Christmas tree. It was pretty hideous. So I thought for all those days about how it could have happened, and I thought about it and thought about it. It took me about 4 or 5 days, and I was pulling up the covers in bed to cover everything but my nose because my house is so cold. And I remembered I was pulling up the covers in the middle of the night, and they resisted. I pulled on them real hard, and my G.I. Joe grip on the sheets came loose, and yes, I socked and thumbed myself right in the eye. It all came back. I remembered I saw stars. It was so hard, but I knew there probably wasn't any damage because my eyes were shut. So I rolled over and back to sleep, thinking about how much it hurt, but I was lucky that my eyes were closed. It's crazy. So the moral of the story is wear boxing gloves to sleep, and you can avoid this. But, that's what I'm here for, right? To give you all this great advice about like wearing boxing gloves to bed so that you don't sock yourself in the eye, old man. Thanks for watching. Nothing. And thanks for listening to the Monday Morning Sidewalk. I hope you're enjoying this. It is probably a situation where you're actually listening to this Monday evening over a nice, cold, dark beer. Oh, yeah, we're going alcohol-free, by the way. You've seen that. And hopefully you will check out those videos that I sent to you just now. They're in the description below. Check those out. 2 new videos over the weekend. And stay tuned. It's going to get interesting. Texas Flycaster Nation, we will see you soon.